NBA 2K21. I'm Alexis Morgan.
And I'm Chris Manning. We are back with a brand new season of 2K TV. Feels like we didn't even leave.
I agree. Did you guys miss us? I hope so, because we definitely missed you. And we will have even more for you this year, including in-game events and news, interviews and game tips from culture to competition. We are your source for everything 2K.
That's right. And the best part of it all, we're going to be talking to you, the community.
And the player introductions are wrapped up. The starting fives for both teams. We are live. It's a Thursday night presentation here on 2K Sports. Hey, Dave.
Well, the ceremony.
Thank you, DA.
Kenny, you played alongside some incredible clutch performers. Who would you give the ball to now for a game-deciding three?
Game-deciding three. Steph Curry's #1. Klay Thompson.
So for the Nets, Allen's checked in for Jordan. Harris comes in for Kevin Durant. And Dinwiddie subbed in for Kyrie Irving. Junior's checked in for New York. Peyton passes to Barrett. Over Harris. Barrett, no good.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
Harris looking it over. Passes it to Allen. Over Barrett. And that one goes long. And so Peyton will bring it up for New York. Trailing by 4. Their last game, a win against San Antonio, looking to carry that into this one.
You could see it in that game, despite the odds going against them. Once it got to OT, they had that belief and resolve that they could win it.
Sometimes we've seen it happen where a team that's supposed to be the underdog gets the game into OT, and then the momentum swings their way.
Boy, has he put his foot on the pedal here this quarter. He's doing a terrific job in terms of leading their offense.
Here's Randall. A slam dunk by Robinson.
When he's on the floor, offensive rebounding is always going to be a strength for them.
Greg, he keeps so many possessions alive, doesn't he?
And you know, those second chance opportunities can be game changing. He represents so much value to this team because of what he does.
The Knicks have gone 8 of 15 from the field, shooting above 50% here tonight. And stolen by Prince. And here we go. The fast break with Dinwiddie. And Harris wide open. He shoots. They get it again. New York trailing. Here's Kennedy. Whistle blows. Bucket is good. And he'll have a chance at the line to make it a three-point play.
Those defenders just look a little bit gassed. I mean, they're getting pushed around on that low block.
The Knicks shooting their third free throw shot of the game.
And looking at last season's numbers, down below 70% as a team from the line.
The Nets making a switch here. Boykins checked in. And a new group in for the Knicks. Taj Gibson's checked in for Robinson. Portis comes in for Randall. Dodson's checked in for Barrett. And Frank Ntilikina's subbed in for Elfrid Payton. Then he played under a number of legendary coaches. What traits do they share? And how are they different?
Well, the great thing about all of them, they had me.
Check that box, right?
It's something that they all had in common. I'm not saying that it's me, but it is heaven. I think what makes them great, is the ability to relate, and also the ability to change direction. Like, you can have a game plan and then all of a sudden change the game plan in the middle of the game and come up with a new one.
Well, I even go a step further. You're also, the great coaches adapt to their personnel as opposed to trying to make the personnel adapt to them. That's why Greg Popovich stand out for me. Because I remember when the Spurs used to be beating you in the 80s.
Yeah. And now
he's the guy that started this whole offense.
Yep, it's running thing.
2 on the clock. And out of bounds as the Knicks gain possession.
Well, that's a moment he'd like.
Hey guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for the Nets?
Guys, they are dialed in from beyond right now. They didn't waste any time getting into a groove in this game.
Something else they've been able to do so far tonight is earn those tough points in the paint.
Hey, guys, this is the way to stay in the game. They're doing a masterful job from the line. Perfect this quarter.
Inside, we got Prince and Jordan. Joe Harris is out there with Kyrie Irving. And it's KD in at the 3. So that's the Nets 5.
They've been going to him an awful lot this game, and you can see why. He's pouring it on.
Here's Kennedy. It's hauled in by DeAndre Jordan. Brooklyn leading by 8. Harris kicks to Irving. Good. And Harris gets the assist. Irving's got 13. With the growth of the G League guys, some have predicted the NBA will eventually expand the draft to more than 2 rounds and more players NBA ready. Good or bad?
Well, it's funny because the Players Association would say they don't want it to expand.
Exactly.
They want it to be because they want guys to have the choice to choose where they want to go. Right? I think 3 rounds is necessary. There's too many basketball players overseas now that are infiltrated into the system to give an opportunity. I think 3 rounds is necessary.
And the other reason why I think I agree is because back in the day, the second round wasn't guaranteed. Now, basically, you all get guaranteed contracts in the second round. And so I think now you push that to the 3rd round, and you make that the make-good round.
Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Hey, Kevin, thank you and good evening. The Knicks made changes in coaching and the front office since the start of last season. But the question is, can they move forward? Their last winning season was back in 2013. Amidst the frenzy that is the media in New York, they'd like to make headlines going forward for all the right reasons this time. Kevin?
Thank you, David. Jordan, the pass to Irving. That one goes. Count it. Irving's got the lead up to 11 now for Brooklyn.
I love how tough Irving is inside. For a guy who typically plays below the rim, he attacks these opportunities with ferocity.
And they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing the ball into the paint.
Outside Jordan. Back to Irving. Nice ball.
Can't afford to leave someone uncovered like that. Irving will torch you for this mistake.
Now Payton. He had 16 points in the win against the Spurs in San Antonio.
And what opened things up for him was his passing. He was making so many plays that the D had to play off him.
And with the game of basketball going global, guys, Kenny, we've seen it's no longer a cakewalk for a U.S. team to go in those international tournaments and just check the box. They got to compete, and they're going to face some terrific players.
Yeah, well, back in '92 when the Dream Team was formed, it woke the world up. It allowed them to see what basketball at its best looked like. And so now we can imitate that, or we can emulate it, or we can find out who got those guys that good.
That was the plan for the Dream Team. Basically, it was to go and elevate the game of basketball. And that's exactly what happened right now. We have all these great players coming in.
Outside for KD. And a miss there on the triple. Knicks trail by 7. Randall with the ball. He's picked up by Irving. Pass to Junior. Outside Robinson. 17-foot shot on the way. And he knocks down the jumper. Robinson's got 6.
And we always talk about making your teammate better. That assist was right on target.
And it's Jordan with the jam.
Irving doing a nice job there being creative and efficient with that beautiful assist.
Kennedy passes to Randall. That shot off. Prince with the defensive effort. And it's Harris with the ball for the Brooklyn Nets. They've led by as many as 11 points. They're coming off that win against Minnesota.
Yeah, and that one, their intensity on the offensive end was not matched by their opponent. That led to some easy buckets.
Yeah, you know, you can't allow them to get into a rhythm on offense. Once that happens, then you're in trouble.
Now a timeout call by Brooklyn.
And they're committing an awful lot of fouls here, and not of the good variety. You don't want to give up easy layups, sure, but it's been a non-stop parade to the foul line.
Jones checked in for Brooklyn. Irving passes to Durant. over Bennett. And he can't bank that one in.
No doubt he's struggling right now from the field. Let's see if he can get it going this quarter.
Count that bucket.
Tremendous court awareness by Peyton.
1:56 left in the first half of the game. Irving against Peyton. Irving passes to KD. Trent in the corner. Oh, good on the triple.
And one thing I liked in the first quarter was their aggressiveness to draw the contact, putting the defense on the defensive.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they need to continue to press that advantage. They've got to get back to that. Don't go away from that. It's been working so well for them. Stay with it.
Kenny, always fascinating to get your take. We sure appreciate you coming by.
Man, it's great to be here, man. Thanks for having me, man. Happy to be here. This is the best studio show up top, but we got the best down here at the bottom.
Are they paying you well? Are they paying you well?
Not as well as y'all are. I tell you, not as well as y'all are.
And what an experience it was, Greg, to have Kenny joining us. You always know he's going to give you his honest opinion, which makes him so great.
Kevin, and throughout his playing days and now as a broadcaster, Kenny's never pulled any punches. He'll tell it to you like it is, and that's one reason he is so beloved.
Here's Kenny. Good for his ninth make in just 12 shots. That's an even 75% shooting.
Well, tonight, another chance for Junior. His NBA debut, lukewarm at best, but we knew he'd need a bit of time to adjust to the league.
You know, Greg, Junior was viewed as a project when he came on board to this team. No surprise he'll have his teaching moments early in his career. Just 5 on the clock. Here's Harris. Robinson with the block.
And no need to rush this. Let the clock run down.
Yeah, don't give them another possession here.
Barrett, no good. Outside Irving, they could use a bucket, and the layup is up and in. Irving's got 17 now.
Yeah, you know, you got to appreciate the speed of Kyrie Irving. I mean, incredible at finding different ways to get to the basket, and he is not afraid of anybody.
And that'll do. Thanks for the great interview, David, and we'll be back for the third quarter. Halfway through this one, plenty of basketball left in a game that's been fairly even so far. You look at Junior in this game, he's been everywhere.
Well, he was putting on a passing clinic in that first half, set up a lot of their mates.
And, you know, that's what delights him most. That's what he takes most pride in. He loves being the chief facilitator.
Our second half. You've always said to have a winning team, you need franchise players. Talk about the specific qualities you look for in those superstars that can catapult a team to greatness.
It's a great question, Kevin. Talent really isn't enough. You know, whether you lead vocally or by example, the agenda has to be winning, and your best players really define who your team is going to be. So the franchise caliber player is a much needed asset. Good eye from Cobb, spotting the wide open man, sets it up perfectly with that pass.
And Gibson sends it down, and he's able to get it back.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the chart.
Yeah, you look across the board, it's actually sizing up, shaping up to be a great game. I mean, strong performances throughout, and they've really been strong on the glass.
Now here is Harris. Now the pass to Allen. Levert from outside. That shot misses. The Knicks go the other way with it.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's going to buy himself a ticket to the bench. If he keeps shooting it like that, he has been putrid here this quarter.
And the 22nd pick in 2015, Bobby Portis with a nice shooting touch.
And at the same time, not afraid to mix it up. Maybe to a fault. At times we've seen him get caught in the heat of the moment. You got to channel that competitive edge and stay strong mentally.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
Harris kicks to Dinwiddie. No good with the triple. The Knicks leading by 14. Kennedy passes to Gibson. And no good. Excellent D there from Allen. Levert with it. 21 points in the game. Ball's knocked loose and stolen by Portis. And that one's good, Junior. Junior's got 4 points this quarter. Greg Jr., as you know, taken in this year's draft. He didn't last long on the board, and this team jumped on the chance to draft him.
There are a lot of high upside players in the draft, but none more so than Junior. He's an athletic monster and could end up being the best player of this class.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well. And what I like about it, it's been a physical brand of basketball. It's had a little sandpaper element to it. Gritty and rough, but that's how you win games.
Back to Gibson. That's tipped, and it goes out of bounds. That one off Gibson. Irving's checked in for Brooklyn. And a switcher also for New York. Harkless is checked in for Damian Dotson. I'm glad we got to see the mobile one block once more. What a play.
And they're determined to add to the lead, not with more offense, but with big-time D.
Levert finds Dinwiddie. And here's Irving. And the officials signal the backcourt violation. Not very careful there.
Costly error there. We'll see how they rebound from that miscue.
Well, you know what? Their wounds are self-inflicted. I mean, you've got to play much smarter than that.
Julius Randle's checked in for New York. And he drops it in from the low post. Randle's got 11 points.
And saying, you want a piece of this? Randle easily getting the better of that exchange.
Now a timeout called by Brooklyn.
And the lack of rim protection, top of the list.
Yeah, you know, just look at the numbers, guys. I mean, they are being taken to the woodshed in the paint.
Brooklyn with the ball. It's an 18-point game. And following this game, they'll challenge the Grizzlies on the road at the FedEx Forum in Memphis. That will be a getaway game for them, a one-game road trip. And the Nets miss again.
Boy, you can just see the frustration growing on their faces. Nothing going their way.
You know, guys, no denying it's been a rough patch here. I think they've got to run whatever is best in their playbook to get a good shot.
Pass to Levert. There's 49 seconds left in the third. Teardrop shot, and it's blocked by Kennedy. So it looks like the Nets will. So no problem for New York as they get the win. A resounding victory for them. And Greg in enemy territory, no less.
That's exactly right. But with the way they controlled the game and just completely took the crowd out of it, that's how to get it done on the road.
And that about wraps it up. For David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for being with us. So long, everyone.